yourself, all you're going to be seeing is abuses, using vulgar words against ourselves, calling ourselves names, exposing ourselves, putting our the same struggle we are, the same freedom we are fighting for, the same recognition we are looking for, we are damaging it. Some of us, I just ask that, how do you think somebody a foreigner will think when he comes to your platform and see what you are saying about your brother, your sister, the same people, the same government, the people you want them to recognize? How do you think they're going to feel? I pray that we can be able to anchor on the unity built by Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That name, there is a sense of unity in that name that whenever that name is mentioned, go and check. Every blessed that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu come to court, there is a sense of unity everywhere, speaking in one voice, using that word. But after that, everyone disappears. It is high time we change the way we do things. It is high time. And if we continue in this path of division, sectionalism, everybody thinking that he or she knows the best, we will never go anywhere. We won't go anywhere. Those who started this very journey, when they started it, they had that tolerance. They were not liked, just like my brother said, they were not liked. Our eternal leader, Dim Odimo Ojukwu, some of us fought him. Our people fought Ojukwu. People that betrayed him, even from his own hometown. But did he look back? He didn't look back. He was still going on. And he was still carrying everybody along. He didn't mind. He didn't make that a topic. Look at Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He didn't make it a topic. People hated Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Some people today who come to national TV and say, free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they were the people who participated, even contributed money to go and kidnap him and come back. They all hated him. That's what I tell you. When you see people saying, oh, hey, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a nice guy, he's a good guy, go and check what those people were saying in 2015, 2017, 2018, 2019. What were they saying? Go and check what they were saying. Don't judge with what people say now. Go and check what they were saying about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu before. But Mazen Nnamdi Kanu didn't make them a topic. He ignored them completely. Continue to open that door to carry them along and move. And so majority of them today are in line with him. Majority of them, they are even in the front line, fighting than most of us who claim that we are in the front. They are on the ground, fighting more than we are doing. Look at Mazen Simon Ekpa. People hated him so much. In fact, the entire group hated him. After Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was taken away, they formed different section of group. And Mazen Simon Ekpa had a problem where he said, a certain group came to him, they held a meeting for 8 hours. 8 hours. Another group will come, hold a meeting for 6 hours, dragging him, join this group. He said, I'm not interested in groups. He's talking about, he was asking them, what happened to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? That is the question. Answer it first. What is the foundation of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu led? What is the essence of you people coming? This group come and talk. This group will come and talk. We want you to join you to do what? And after all said and done, Mazen Simon Ekpa stood on his own and continued to preach Biafra. And at the end of the day, he ignored them. And what happened at last? Look at the support Mazen Simon Ekpa had. He continued to move on. It is still our own people that still even contributed money, wrote petition, sent delegates to go and make sure that Mazen Simon Ekpa was taken away from the picture. But do you think that could stop Mazen Simon Ekpa? It will not stop him. Mazen Simon Ekpa is going to come out. He's going to come out. Why can't we anchor on this unity we found among our leaders who have made a great mark? Why can't we find? Why is it that we cannot take that air that we breathed yesterday, that breeze that circulated yesterday? Every platform you go, it is one thing everybody was saying. Everybody was reporting one thing: exposing Nigerian government, calling out the international community for their silence. That was the message yesterday. Exposing Nigerian government, calling out the international community for their silence. But after that, we all go back to bed and sleep. When I listened and watched the press briefing of the lawyers, I felt so sad. It was so painful. I'm going to play it here so that we can dissect what they said yesterday. Many of us must have watched it, but I'm still going to play it again so that we can look through it. But before I go to that direction, I think I changed my mode of program today because of my brother that just came in. I don't want to keep him waiting, and I go on my introduction, which almost takes all the time. So I changed my program. So I think we'll continue on that direction. My sister Ijoma, I can see my sister Ijoma there. Ijoma, please take the stage and speak to us. Let's hear you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning and happy weekend.
Happy weekend, my sister. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping on. Thank you for staying there. Thank you for being who you are, genuinely who you are. I appreciate you for that. Good morning, Biafrans all around the world from my location. Mazichus, thank you for this topic and for what you are saying, which is nothing but the truth. Our brothers just said it, that the release of Nnamdi Kanu is in our hands. Everybody knows that. In every freedom, in every good quest, it's you that knows what brought the good quest that will finish it. Not the people that you are asking from. Because you, in the first place, you know why you embarked on the journey. That being said, we must not talk about Nnamdi Kanu freedom without mentioning those that sold him. They are the ones that put us in this crime. The DOS Nigeria Limited and the family of our leader. The truth must be said. We can't run away from it. They are the ones that put us in this mess. Whenever I see the family of our leader coming to make press reports, I'm very angered. And I will keep calling them because mentioning their name on the air, the nature will continue to torment them. And I say, God forbid that I fall into the hands of such brothers and sisters and the wife. They are the ones that the enemy used to complete their agenda. So, our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, has done his work for us. And what is left is for us to reciprocate on his good gesture. And like you said, how do we do that? With disunity. Now, we must remember that there is no place there is no disunity. There is no place we don't have this betrayals. Even the existing countries still have betrayals. So our own is also in a special way because it has gone overboard, that things that are not being heard of has been heard of in our home, unfortunately. Because we don't treat our betrayers like betrayers. We allow them to have their free days and they continue to do the worst and graduate on their evil. Now, Nnamdi Kanu has come to the courts as always, and everybody is talking, even those that refused to talk before or pretend not to know what is happening, even those that did interview that sold him out, they paid. They're now talking about his freedom. So in this quest, we have to ask, who are the genuine ones talking about this freedom? We, those that understood what freedom means and why we are doing what we are doing, that what we are doing is not going to end in us. It's also going to be for a future generation. Just like we are in various countries of the world, enjoying whatever we can, even it's not at its best, but at least we have our peace. And in the home where we come from, we cannot even boldly carry our bag to go without doing some special prayers. These are things of concern. If really our people come to understand this and tell themselves the truth, it will ease things. Nnamdi Kanu will come out. Because when we talk about protest, there are many ways to do protest. Protest is not only about people carrying placards coming out. There are many ways to do protest. Like on this, on online, if we come and speak with one voice, we must not lose sight that the few people that have been doing this, that sold Nnamdi Kanu, that sold Simon, and trying to destroy the government to declare, they are still the same set of individuals. There is no other. And there are few among us. But you know that in this our world, bad thing borrow leaf more than good one. Because when bad thing is not stopped, it can only increase and reduce the voice of the good ones. But we thank God in our case, they didn't reduce our voice. Rather, they keep increasing it. No matter the pest, it is increasing. But they have wasted our time. And time is crucial in the realm where we are. And wasting time is also wasting innocent lives. Now, our people, what do we do? How do we go about it? This few that has come for destruction, majority wants the freedom. But in that majority that wants the freedom, what are they doing? It is still few of that majority that is championing the same freedom. So if you are a Biafran and you are sitting behind, you are watching and you are talking in your rooms, in your houses, in your organizations and gathering places about your freedom, and you are not doing the needful, you are not bringing the money because nothing is free, nothing is free, then how do you expect the structures that is on to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu through our government to function? It's very, very unfortunate that, like you said, when we are angered, we leave our anger and to focus on what we came before the anger. We use the anger to overwhelm everything. That is one thing I have very good respect for you, Mazi Jutes. I'm telling you. You know how to construct your words. You know how to use your initiatives, no matter how angry you are, no matter how misunderstood that people or the environment or the topic, people got it. You always know how to bring it back. I am telling you, and that is how your platform is, because you can't give what you don't have. It's very, very unfortunate when we talk about this unity. Do not forget, when we finish talking about the sabbaths, we now talk about one of us, some of us that we are really, really, really part of this. And for one anger or the other, we fall apart instead of us to not lose focus on all our levels, genuine levels. We also use our hand to destroy or start to destroy what we built. That is really what, that point is what is bringing us back. Not even the sabbaths are known. But when one of us, inside us, genuinely, I mean, when I say one, I say those that have been with us, and they, for one reason or the other, see themselves fall out, instead of them to focus on what brought them in the first place and the years they have put in to make sure that this project come to completion, and then continue when we get there, if there is any anger, as a matured person will do. They will choose to bring everything down. They will choose to refuse, to forget that what they are bringing down is also part of their sleepless nights. It's so unfortunate. Those are the people that are really doing harm. Because a voice you once trusted, or voices you once trusted, faces you once respected, seeing the same faces coming to lie. Even when, if whatever they are saying is the truth, and they cannot construct it in a constructive manner that will promote that which they want to achieve the result, they will put it in a way that it will destroy everything because they felt they have been destroyed by going out. It's a very, very unfortunate situation. Anybody in that part of mindset must desist. Like I used to say, if you don't know what to say, just say nothing. If you have fallen apart, if you don't want to support the government anymore, just do something but support Biafra. If you don't want, instead of you to damage, use your platform, take another thing altogether. Go and sell or do anything with the population you have already built, because it's your level. Nobody can take it away from you. But using that same level that you used to build and coming on top of that level to destroy, nature will surely destroy that person. There is nothing to remove nature, because what it means is that you have, for the first time, lied to yourself. And lying to yourself is lying to people. Lying to people that once trusted you genuinely is lying to nature. And what that person will get is costs. And those causes is where the nature will destroy the person. So it's very, very unfortunate. Super unfortunate. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is suffering today because of us. Mazi Simon Ekpa is in because of this freedom. Because they saw what many did not see. The Africa that is changing today is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If Africa is to be a continent where their leaders are leaders of African nation, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not be passing through this. Because we have a continent where majority, thank God that some are waking up, and we keep praying for those that has received this gospel of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and it is working. We must keep praying for them not to fall. Also, then when you have managers in a continent that are hired by those that are interested in that which kept you alive, what do you mean? What do you have to get is what we are getting. Because truly, Africa is not supposed to look to international to do anything. Because when you see how lie has taken this world, how interest has taken the humanity, even as we know that human being has always been of interest, but this time it is exactly what we cannot explain. Because the more, that is why time is very crucial. The more we waste time, the worse it becomes, because the more people understand what you also understood. African nation, African continent, they're supposed to be the one championing this very freedom. They're supposed to be the one penalizing Nigeria. Nigeria is not bigger than anybody. Fulani cannot do nothing without our ignorance supporting them, because we are ignorantly supporting what they are doing by not doing what we're supposed to do. You write letters, people will block it. People will come to online only to speak ill, and they know the truth just because they want to make sure that their own agenda, that they accomplish it, which is evil. Evil. They are not seeing the pains of the people. They are not seeing the crimes being committed against the people on the land. They think they have escaped that land and their own life is safe. They are not even seeing their own causes and the sufferings. Because all these people trying to destroy, go and ask them, they don't even know about their family members. They don't know the pains they are passing through, because it cannot be that they know and they continue. It's only 1% of them that will know, because they don't even communicate. They are so selfish to that extent. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not only a person of just Biafra, it is a continental man that all Africans are supposed to rise up and make Nigeria to release this man. Nigeria has defied all odds. What do you think they have defied? We have heard that the person in charge of Nigeria is not a Nigerian. There's nothing we have not heard about this country since 2015, which are truths, verified truths with evidences. And those that are being alleged of it have not come to prove otherwise. Yet, those are the ones holding the whole people. And somebody will come out and say they are proudly Nigerian. And I ask them, what are you proud of? That you are in your house and a stranger has come to command and lead you, and even lead you to your doom. You are suffering. You are, in fact, now it doesn't give them mouth. Yet they held on what they held. They don't want to come out and speak the truth, especially for the tribe that the man is trying our leader. They are the main problem of Nigeria, in fact, that country for Nigeria, because they eat with their both sides. I know they are good. There's no place you don't see good and the bad. But when the bad overwhelms the good, we have to speak it the way it is. For what? Can somebody, internationally, you have no right to hold a prisoner up to his death when you know he can take medical care. There is nowhere in this world. But Nigeria has defied this and defied it, and nobody seems to be talking except us. And even among us, some of us will even wish what enemies wish. Where are we going with this? Where are we going to land with this? When you finish living, what are you going to leave for your children? because their own mess will be bigger than your own that you are currently in. And that is why we are standing up. That is why this platform is here, to say no to that. We have suffered it, yes, but we have to stop it. And how do we stop it? We must support the government of the United States of Biafra, so that they also, our government, will do what they have to do. Because the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in our hands. Just like our PM said, when we make the hold of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu expensive for those that are holding him, they will release him. Now, it is now on our own boycott to make the bills of those holding our PM and our leader very expensive. Look, our journey at this moment is supposed to be one of the easiest, because those that are holding us for what we're supposed to be enjoying. If we don't need to go to war to do that. If we stop them from them, they will just hands up. If the government, and we support our government, and they go and stop that which they are enjoying, that milk, it will be a soft case. There will be no need again. There will be no Nigeria anywhere. Those that are using them will not have any other option than to look towards those holding what they want to enjoy. It is as simple as that. Yet it's very difficult, because we that are being held down has refused to understand how it's supposed to be, or have understood, but for selfish interest and wickedness in our bosom, we refuse to let go and allow those that can push this and make everybody get there to do it. Like those that are in the one in France came yesterday talking nonsense. In this evening, you will see her going back, telling all of us that we are terrorists. And the person you are crying for is the chief of those you are calling terrorists. What sense does it make? And people will go there and listen. What are you listening? She has already used her mouth to say that she has regretted her life. And you go and say, listen, what are you supporting? If you don't listen to her, if nobody watched her video, YouTube will not pay her. She will naturally die off and look for another means to complete her bills. But when we go there, we comment, whether good or bad, we listen. We are putting her on business. We are keeping her to continue doing what she's doing and all her lives. So there are many things we can do genuinely, quietly, that will revolutionize this very quest. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out. And we must not stop. The government of the United States of Biafra, their hands are full, and that is what it should be. Until we get to our destination, they have work to do. We also have work to do. And our own part is to support them. Our own part is to support them financially, not just to talk, financially and intelligently. Don't sit in your house and believe that miracle will happen. These people you are seeing their faces, they are not sleeping. If you are not there, you must know what I'm saying. So don't let their sleepless nights for your sake go too long or be wasted. The little you can do, that little you can do, whether it's finance, bring it the way it should be. That's your capacity. Bring it. They need it. If your knowledge, without being an ally to the enemy, bring it. We need it. This is a project for all of us. The world has changed. The world is now a community world, whether we like it or not. Everybody is clicking to their own. Where do Biafrans go to click? Every time the whole bad news is coming from Biafrans, they chase us here, they kill us there, they destroy us there, they destroy us the other side, because they know that we have no place to run to. And yet we have a land, we have an inheritance. Let us come together and fight for that inheritance, that our children will not continue this fight. It will be an abomination that this generation will live and go, and this fight continue, because it will be a lose fight. Because our children will born abroad will not be the one to continue this. And you have seen how they have silenced those are inside. That's why I give it to our people that are still standing up and they sit at home. God will continue to bless them, because they are the one wearing the most painful shoe. And they are the one, all of us need it. All of us. There is no dignity for you when you are out of your home. There is no dignity to that. You can only become much more in your own environment. it is we have tested it, we that are outside, and we know. So running outside will not change anything. But planning to go back and keeping that place, which is your bona fide place, is what will change everything. You as a Biafran, get up and do your part. Bring that your money. Bring their know-how. Support with good words. Mold your words when you want to speak, when you want to contribute, no matter how angry you are. When you want to condemn, condemn the enemies. Don't condemn your own. Correct your own and condemn the enemies. And correct with good voice, not with harsh voice. Because there are corrections that are good, but the voice by which we used to do it will now destroy anything. When you want to bring your lion voice, use it to cause the enemies, destroy the enemies, because it does something. But when you come in-house, construct it, respect, and use love. When we start to put love first, we will achieve everything we want to achieve. The life of Nnamdi Kanu, the release of Nnamdi Kanu is in our hands. And I hope we will not disappoint him. Nigerian government and their masters are playing with us. When we show them we can do something, they are more afraid than we are, but we don't understand it. They are very much afraid than we are because they know the power of us coming together and standing up greatly. Even as far as we have gone, they are very much afraid. They are shaking, no matter no noise is making. And the government is working also. And all of us need to put hand because the time we are now is a time that we use our sense and use our resources. It's a time that we don't just go and fight anyhow. It's a time we don't just go and talk anyhow. We will lose everything. It's a very constructive and spiritual time. So support those that has bring out their time. Nobody is being paid to do this. We can only get the reward by the names that we wrote when we conclude this. That is an everlasting generational reward. When the children and children of Mazi Chiefs will be saying, do you know Choose Survivor? Or they write it on their social studies book, Choose Survivor channel. Give the names of the channels that fought for the freedom of Biafra. That is forever. His name will be mentioned and others. So come and write your name where your name can never be deleted. Thank you, Mazi Chiefs. And we continue.
Thank you so much, my beloved sister. I appreciate you for that wonderful speech. You have spoken well, and everything we are saying boils down on coming together, working together, ignore our differences, and make sure we get to direction. The most important thing, the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu, is in your hand, is in my hand. There is no need to sit back and begin to wait for any magic to happen from anywhere. It is you, your actions, what we do, will ignite the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Today on our topic we are discussing, it says, aftermath of Nnamdi Kanu court case, global reaction, expectation, and the way forward for Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu has come to court. Every one of us have seen him. The court case of Nnamdi Kanu has come and gone, but the aftermath, where the real battle is. It is in the aftermath, that is where the real battle is, and that is what we are discussing. This is not just about one man, Nnamdi Kanu. It is not just about Nnamdi Kanu. It's not just about one man. It is about a nation held hostage. A nation held hostage. It is about a people crying for freedom. And it's about a conscience of the world being tested. That is what you saw yesterday. The conscience of the world being tested. That is why we have come today to look into the domestic reactions, the international silence, and the support. The expectations of millions of Biafrans, which I knew. That was why most of them came online yesterday to come and see what will happen, what they were expecting. So many were disappointed. So many didn't take it as a surprise. They know that anything can happen. So many come to see what next. Where are we heading to? The way forward. We are in a very defining moment. In the course of Biafra, I tell people, do not separate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu freedom from Biafra actualization. Don't. Each time you separate it, you're making a great mistake. Don't separate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu freedom with the actualization of Biafra. These two are the same. It doesn't matter how you try to run away from it. We will continue to tell the world the truth and make sure that that truth that is scaring Nigeria, we expose it, we talk about it, we say it again and again. And this morning, let us start from the press briefing that was made by the Legal Counsel of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And I want you to pay attention to what you're going to hear. And I want the world, because it's not only us watching. Some of us don't know that it is not only Biafrans that are watching the program. There are people who are not Biafrans who are not watching. There are people from other countries who are watching. There are people from strong organizations, NGOs that are watching us. There are media houses that are watching. They want to know. They want to hear what we want to say. Remember, public opinion also counts a lot in the issue of this judiciary and sentencing. Anywhere in the world, public opinion matters a lot. It contributes to the decision made by the court of that line. That is why you have to be very careful what you say, how you say it, and when you say it. Let us pay attention to this very press briefing and see what they said.
Well, the ruling is simply requires Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the defendant, to enter his defense. It's not a pronunciation of guilt or not guilty.
It is not a pronunciation of guilty or not guilty. They told him to go and enter his defense. Yesterday, what you had in the court yesterday was not a pronunciation of guilty or not guilty. They told him to go and enter his defense. But that was a surprise. Even though we know that Nigeria is capable of doing anything and everything. And you have to hear why I said this. Nigeria can do anything and everything, and they can lie more than the devil. I want you to pay attention.
So that is why it's called a no-case submission. So the judge made a ruling that there's a prima facie evidence that needs to be explained. So in common parlance, it calls on him to come and mount his own defense. But there is the other aspect of the ruling that concerned extraordinary rendition. That very one is one that compounded us, because the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is so open and notorious. Two international institutions or two separate panels of the United Nations have made pronouncements regarding his extraordinary rendition and called for his unconditional release. Nigeria is a member of the United Nations and therefore bound to consider that and implement that decision. And in Nigeria here, 3 courts have made similar pronouncements. First was by the Federal High Court of Omahia, which awarded him 500 million naira. And the Court of Appeal also pronounced that he was a victim of extraordinary rendition. And in the Supreme Court, the same Supreme Court that sent this case back to trial, reached the same conclusion.
For you to understand what Barrister Aloye Jimako is explaining, do you know that yesterday, Nigeria court denied the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that they are not aware? They say there is no evidence of extraordinary rendition. Yesterday. Extraordinary rendition that is so open to even the blind can see it. The deaf have had it. Even a child can see the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Evidences are filled everywhere. But yesterday, Nigerian court said that the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that rendered all the cases useless, according to their own court, they said they don't have evidence to that. They said they don't have evidence to that. I want you to hear from Aloy Ejimako.
Because the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is so open and notorious. Two international institutions or two separate panels of the United Nations have made pronouncements regarding his extraordinary rendition and called for his unconditional release. Nigeria is a member of the United Nations and therefore bound to consider that and implement that decision. And in Nigeria here, 3 courts have made similar pronouncements. First was by the Federal High Court of Omahia, which awarded him 500 million naira. And the Court of Appeal also pronounced that he was a victim of extraordinary rendition. And in the Supreme Court, the same Supreme Court that sent this case back to trial, reached the same conclusion, that he was a victim of extraordinary rendition. And all these things are of the record. They are all in the file. And we remember when this trial was being conducted, these very documents were tendered in evidence. So it compounded us, it confused us, that the court now made a pronouncement that the extraordinary rendition had no evidence before the court, that no evidence of it was submitted before the court. And you remember, least but not the last, recently a Kenyan High Court made the same pronouncement. But well, if the court was misled by believing by mistake that these things were not in evidence, it also said and left the door open that such evidence be submitted. So we are coming back with that evidence, and it's going to be quantum and legion.
So what about the first application on the enemy?
Well, that one too, it wasn't in evidence that the Nigerian Medical Association has intervened. So
pay attention, this one is for application to transfer Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to National Hospital for treatment. Listen to the response of the court, what the court said. Still going back on what had been done already and established. They intentionally went back to destroy it and pretend they didn't know. Listen.
Came as a surprise, but there's a short date given of 8 days for the NMA to submit its report. So somebody is ill, you know, I don't think NA is going to change much of that. But I think the judge wanted to leave the record open to admit every possible evidence regarding this matter. But meantime, we are disappointed. Our client remains ill and remains detained. And we're not happy about that. His situation requires urgent and emergent care. So whatever the court says today does not mean that the government shall withdraw back. Just 2 days ago, I wrote a letter. A private hospital has also expressed readiness to admit him here in Abuja. For security reasons, I won't mention the name of the private hospital. But the government, if the government appears to have issues with taking him to the national hospital, we have given them an option of a private hospital also here in Abuja.
So it's safe to say that the application to be transferred to the National Hospital was rejected?
No. Rejected? No, it's pending. Yes.
One other information.
It hasn't been rejected. It's pending. It's pending the admission of this report from the Nigerian Medical Association and the opinion of the Nigerian Medical Association. And you know, if you were in court, the judge had ordered that the committee or panel to be considered by the Nigerian Medical Association shall have a member from the National Hospital. So National Hospital is still in play.
Now, my fellow Biafrans, brothers and sisters, from the press briefing we had from the legal counsel of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu of what transpired, you had it clear. Yesterday, all we came for was the no case submission that was made by the legal team. All we were expecting yesterday was the government to get away from the case, throw it away, and allow Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to go home and take care of himself. That was the expectation. And we were hoping that will come up on the 10th of October. All of a sudden, they played their game of sympathy. Their deceitful game. That destructive game, they played it and brought it forward, only for their own selfish interest to deceive us. And when we get to the court, what did you see? What was said in the court? There was no pronouncement of judgment. There was no sentence. There was no accusation. They told Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to go and put his defense. All they did was to throw out every single application that was presented to them. They threw it out, including the no case submission. The most surprising one is the court to say that they do not have evidence of the extraordinary rendition of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And they sent the legal counsel out back to go and bring evidence if they have any. You can imagine. In the case of his health, even after efforts have been made, Nigerian Medical Association have given people to verify the status of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which was made open. They gave a written note, which was submitted. And yet, they told them to go back. They rejected that transfer and told them, they referred them back again to that same medical whatever association of Nigeria to go and make another formal decision and bring to them. Judging from everything you have seen yesterday, I think, well, let's start from our brother, Engineer Chukwumeze. Are you still there, Engineer Chukwumeze? Are you still there, our brother, Engineer Chukwumeze? If you are there, unmute yourself. Okay, if he's not there, let us go to our sister Ijoma. Our sister Ijoma, unmute yourself if you're there. Unmute yourself. Judging from this press release we just saw and we had, what do you have to say? If you're there, I know that some people are watching from their office. Some of them, people that are joining us, some of our speakers here are joining us from their office. So if they are busy and they're not able to join, we will continue. Ijoma is not there. I think she's busy. And then reality against formality. Brother, are you there?
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I also use this opportunity to greet all my fellow Biafrans across the world who are listening to us in this broadcast. I have heard what you just played, and I want to start saying that somebody who does not know Nigeria, that is the only person that will keep in wonder or being surprised of what is ongoing or what Nigeria is playing. But to some of us who really know what Nigeria is, who these criminals in power are and what they can do, we do not wonder or get surprised of any of their action at any given time. Before this time, what they are doing, what they just did in this court sitting, I knew too well that this is exactly what will happen because I follow Nigeria bomber to bomber. And to some of us, to put it, anybody who is really in this struggle, I mean, with a burden and with the whole of your heart, you must be possessed with the spirit of Biafra. And if we say being possessed with the spirit of Biafra does not mean an evil spirit. It means the spirit of God, because what Biafra is into and the spirit that possesses Biafra is the spirit of freedom. And freedom is a thing that God himself has pronounced from the beginning that he gave dominion unto man. And that means it's godly. And that means it's the plan of God for mankind. And that means anybody who is into this business of freedom is into the gospel work of God, is into the work of God. And in as much as your mind is, I mean, so free, filled with light from heaven, the Spirit of God will always reveal the secret, the deep secret things of life to you. And this is what I mean. that once you are possessed with this spirit of flight, which we call the spirit of Biafra, the spirit of freedom, the Holy Spirit of God will always reveal the deep secret, the secret things of life. And that is the reason why what this darkness, so called Nigeria, is doing, what this darkness called Nigerian leaders are doing, God is revealing to us about all their evil plans on daily basis. And that is the reason why Nnamdi Kanu was saying everything that is going to happen before they will come to play it. Master Chooks, I hope you are getting me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Good. That's why our Oyendu Nnamdi Kanu, as at when he was not kidnapped into their dungeon, he was saying everything, and give it a little time, is happening. And there is nothing he has said that is not happening. That will let you know that it is God who is revealing these things. For a mere man himself cannot see tomorrow. But any man you hear comes out and says something about tomorrow, and when tomorrow comes, it happens. Then you should know that that person is possessed with the Holy Spirit of God. So this is exactly what it is. And to some of us who are rampant as Biafrans, and we are possessed with this spirit of Biafra, this spirit of freedom, this spirit of light, we are not always like shocked or surprised of what Nigerian state is going to do. Nigeria evil states will always do what they will do, but we are always aware or ahead of them what they are going to do. So it's only one who is not possessed, really possessed with this spirit, that will not know. So I prophesied it, I said it before to my people around, that this court sitting is not really going to fetch what we think we are expecting. This is what is going to happen. And exactly what happened. So there is no cause for alarm. They will do what they feel they have to do, so that they will keep distracting their friends who are into this struggle, who does not know who they are and what they are into. They will keep doing it to see how they can make us get weak and fall out. And that is the reason why even the UN that they have treaty with will tell them what you are doing is not good. Release this young man unconditionally. He has not committed any crime, and they will not do it. They are making all these delay tactics to see how they can weaken our spirit for us to fall out and leave the whole struggle and leave the whole thing, for them to continue their evil work in this geographical space. So nothing more. But I have something I want to say to this. If our people are still putting their minds to mean that, okay, they are waiting for our Oyendu to come out so that he will give us Biafra, I want to take them back to the case of Israelites, as at when they were in captivity in Egypt. Master Chooks, I hope you are getting me.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, as at when they were in captivity in Egypt, the same thing happened. The priests, as at then, does not really mean that they have not made any submission for the freedom of the Israelites. Those priests that were speaking on behalf of the indigenous people of Israel, at that time, they have been making submission before Pharaoh about their freedom. Their time is up, they need to go. And Pharaoh will pretend not to have received any submission. And that's why even when Moses came up, you realize that Pharaoh was giving Moses a lot of tough time, as if he does not understand what is happening. When he came and told him, God said you should release his people and let them go. He was asking which God. He was asking this question very clear. Which God? And Moses had to take time to start all afresh. Meanwhile, this submission has been on his table years past. So it's exactly what Nigeria is doing. But another thing I also want our people to learn is that when Moses was doing all of this until he succeeded to take the children of Israel out of Egypt to somewhere, something happened again. Moses was no more when they were actually to get to promised land. But this is the Moses that took them all away from Egypt to somewhere in the wilderness. And then a different person was the person who finally succeeded to take Israel to the promised land. So if our people are still thinking that they are all folding their hands to wait for Nnamdi Kanu to come out of Nigerian hands before he will give us Biafra, that is exactly what these Igbo people knows. And why they are delaying all of this, they are doing all of these delay tactics. To do it until they see that our people get discouraged and leave the whole game. And then they continue in their own evil ways to maim and commit genocides against the indigenous people of Biafra. So our people should learn these lessons and know that Nnamdi Kanu told us something before this time, before they apprehended him, before they kidnapped him. He said that for him, he is done with his work. Anytime soon, he might not be around. He made that statement. And that the rest of us should not go and fold our hands and sleep. He has already opened the way for us. He has shown us the way. Let us continue to press onward until this comes into our freedom comes into our hands, until we gain it. He made that statement. It was not long before we had that we couldn't find our own duo. We don't know what happened. And after some time, before we come to realize that Nigerian state has kidnapped him. Master Chuks, are you following?
I'm listening.
Good. So people should remove their minds on we are banking on Nnamdi Kanu to come, because another thing he added was being that he is done with his own work, the rest is in our hands. Let's take it from there and continue. So even from what I mentioned about Moses, who ended somewhere, and then another person was the one who completed the journey to the promised land with the indigenous people of Israel. The same thing is what I am seeing in what we are into. Nnamdi Kanu, God is with him. If he would die, they would have killed him in that hideout where they took him to for 8 days. They would have succeeded to kill him. They have done everything and it couldn't work out for them. And then they came up lastly with an option of taking him down to Nigeria to claim that they went and arrested him when it was kidnapping. So in this case, as it stands, what Biafrans need to do is we need to be more encouraged when we see Nigerian state play their shenanigans. We need to be more encouraged. We need to be, feel more of the spirit of this struggle, this freedom, and continue doing, the unforeseen. What Nigeria has not seen will happen. Now, what happened? The redeclaration of Biafran sovereign nation has taken place, and that's what took us from IPOB, a system of running the freedom to autopilot, from autopilot to Biafra government in exile, And today, what all of this was aiming at is for us to get United States of Biafra, which we have already gotten by this redeclaration in Finland. And so when we see Nigeria play their game, it should trigger our spirit the more to ensure we keep moving to go and do what we are supposed to do, to go and do the needful. Nnamdi Kanu told us as well that the era of preaching is done and fulfilled. That the next era should be an era of action, diplomatically. And this era of action has to do with the declaration that has taken place. That's one of the actions. And instead of us going about allowing this same evil state, so-called Nigeria, to keep us divided, we should rather be triggered to come into a unit, to unite them all, for us to press onward and ensure that from this state of, redeclared sovereign nation, which is Biafra now, USD, we push forward to see that the next thing we have to do that is very, very important is for all of us to support this USD, and whoever is there, be it that she's a woman, God can use any instrument to do his work. And then by the time we give this woman our full support to push this USD, which is to say, number one, diplomatic aspect of this thing is for us to go about negotiation for a wider recognition. And this negotiation for a wider recognition, while they are still playing their game, I mean Nigerian state, they are still playing their game, in collaboration with Finland against our Prime Minister, while they keep playing their games, their delay tactics, we are pushing. And for a wider recognition about